Alright, y'all. I'm on the Georgia-Florida main line, what's left of it. This track was built from Florida up to Augusta, and it followed the old right-of-way that they're building the Stump House Tunnel up to Edgefield, and then from Edgefield they built this way to Greenwood. Alright, and what this is left for, the reason it's left is CSX owns this now. And if you see that switch there, it goes to the right and it goes to the left. This is I would say the southern branch of the Y. This is where they turn locomotives and passenger trains around. Well, they have turned the passenger train around up here one day years ago. They run one through. Now, over there is the bridge that I told you about, Maxwell Yard, about the Atlantic coastline coming out, and it went up over this bridge. Maxwell Yard is that way, and that's where that track runs down. It runs into the other track that runs from the north end to the south end, and then it runs into the side and over there, coming out of the north end of Maxwell Yard. Alright, so they don't put locks on this. They're not worried about it. Like I said, all it is a Y track. They come down here and turn locomotives around and stuff. Alright, thank you. I'm going to go take some more pictures. Alright, here's some more pictures of the bridge right there. That was a Augusta Knoxville Railroad, then Port Royal and Western, and then later on became the Atlantic Coastline, y'all. Alright, thank you. And then later on, Atlantic Coastline became the Seaboard Coastline. Alright, thank you. Well, if you look way down there, you can see where it runs into the switch. And you can see the main line running by. And it does the same thing down that way. I'm going to try to get down there and see if I take pictures of it. So some information. The Georgia and Florida built all the way from Florida to Greenwood, and they went bankrupt building this bridge to run Atlantic Coastline over because Atlantic Coastline wouldn't allow them to cross at grade. Now, I don't know what the grade was down here because they got to go uphill to go to town. So I don't know. Anyway, that's my cousin Ray. All right, thank y'all. All right, that's the east track merging up with the north-south track on your Y track. That's coming from back over there by the bridge in the background. That's where the east switch is. And this will be the south switch out here. Actually right there. And you see where it goes down and touches up into the main line going into the north end of Maxwell Yard. I'm not driving down further because of that mud pile down there. There's your main lines over there. Main line 1, main line 2 heading out. And this one, it just curves around and joins up with the north leg of the Y track. So you got north, south, and the east leg. And you'll pull in here, go through that switch, line it back through here, and then line that switch at the north end, and then bring it back around here, and it'll be facing the other direction. You can turn the locomotive around out here. And they have turned passenger trains around out here. All right, thank you. I found a flange lubricator out here. It doesn't look like it's in good shape. That side's good. This side's broken. There's the barrel for it. Let me walk on over here. And you can see the little plunger. And when the wheel runs over that plunger right there and plunges this down, it squirts grease out. And I just squirted some grease, but I didn't hear it. I don't know. All right, I'm going to walk down this way and see if I get more view of the side. We got a train coming at us. But he's out on the main line. He's not going to be coming up in here. Little crossing down there. It goes from the orphanage back over to the little farm, which is off to the left of the track. He's gonna be rolling down the hill and then rolling back up the hill. Hopefully I get him in a little bit. I'm gonna cut it off till I see him. I assume he's coming out. I seen one that was making itself up that's gonna be heading north, and I don't know whether he had time to do it or not. Got a derail down there. Just in case they park a car up in here and the handbrakes get loose on it and it gets rolling, it'll knock it off to the left here. It won't go out on the main line and foul the main line up. All right, I'm going to cut it off till I get down there. Thank y'all. Ray's up there waving his hat. He's over on the Atlantic Coastline main line coming up through the woods. All right, thank you. All right, there's a D-ray, y'all, and it's lined up. It'll catch the flange from the wheel on the left and pick it up and set it off the left side of the track, causing it not to foul the main line. So it'll be going down that direction, not off in that direction. All right, thank you. I'm walking on down. We got main line number 1 over there and main line number 2 next to us, and this comes out into main line number 2. We got a train working at the top of the hill, but by the time I got down in here, he's gonna shove back in there so you can't see him. But as I keep coming down, you'll be able to see him. I can see his headlights now. So he's backing up to his train, so I'm hoping to catch him because I haven't caught a train all day today. He's going to couple up to his train, hook up his air, get it, check it all out and everything, then he's going to take off. And he's headed to Hamlet, North Carolina. So he'll be going out that way around to the left, and he's going to have some signals as soon as he gets around there. And you can see up there now, he's got some signals now for here. So anyway, there's the switch for main line number 2. And if you look up the hill, you can see where Maxwell siding comes in from the left up there. That parallels all the way, that goes all the way through Maxwell Yard and comes out this end and goes down to there. It used to go down through the woods over there, but nothing's out there now. My cousin's walking out in there. He says not much in there. Got some tires up there and that's about it. All the track is gone. All right, let me close this thing up a little bit. All right. Now look at that frog there on the left. Not the frog, the guardrail on the left to pull trains through this. And you see what it's got to do? It pulls the wheel over, and that's what pulls the frog over. That's a spring-loaded frog. So it's not lined by the switch, but if you can look at it, you can see one side of the frog's got a gap in it for the flange to roll through, but this other side is smack up next to the rail. So that's a movable frog, and it's more or less like spring-loaded. So like I said, you get a set of trucks coming down through here, the wheel hooks up into that one, and let me get this on camera, try to. All right, the wheel coming down this one will get hooked up behind that guardrail, and this one will actually pull this rail over to make it come through. So when it's coming down that track, let me see, comes down that track, it just pushes that section over right here. I don't know, Ray. Anyway, hopefully y'all figure it out. All I see is red signals. You got a red signal on the left arm just before the switch that goes into Maxwell side. And you got red over red over red up there at the bridge for the main line 1 on the far right, main line 2 on the one that's going down on the left. All right, thank you. All right, there's the engine again. It's a 282. I forget what type that would be. A light Mikado, maybe. I'm going to walk down here and get the front of it. They got a couple of railroad crossing signals in here. CSX gave them. Baldwin Locomotive Works, Philadelphia, USA, number 19. So that's what we got. All right, thank you. All right, the Atlantic Coastline would have come up here. This is a hiking trail now. And they got a representative turntable here. They used to have a turntable here that they would turn locomotives around. That's not it. But anyway, the track would have gone over there, crossed over this street, and would have run right beside the Greenville-Columbia Railroad, which was the first railroad built through here. It was the second railroad built in South Carolina. I'll try to do stories on that. Abbeville has a depot from that railroad. It did bank into there. There's a picture of the turntable. They say whenever the trains come up through here, like whenever they had to come up and run the turntable, that's the high school over there. And they said every boy in the school would be at the window. There wouldn't be no school class coming on at the time of train activity. All right. So welcome to Greenwood, y'all. Down the middle of the street, you can see where the green grass is still growing. That's where the railroad tracks would have run. And they would have had 2 railroad depots down there and 1 freight building for 2 railroads going through the middle of town. You would have had the Atlantic Coastline coming in, and the other one was the Southern Railroad when they finally finished up here. Atlantic Coastline pulled this track, well, it was Seaboard Coastline by the time they did it. Seaboard Coastline pulled out the old Atlantic Coastline Augusta-Knoxville track. And then years later, Southern took up the old Columbia-Greenville track. Now, they still have some of it. They work a sawmill, plywood plant over near Silver Street. But they used to come in from Greenville to work it, but now they work their way out of Columbia to work it. All right, thank y'all. We got one just arrived, southbound, that just pulled into Greenwood. He stopped. The crew's going to be getting off. The gates are going back up. All right, but I've been sitting here for 3 hours and nothing going on. Well, I have been walking around out in the woods, but I mean, I haven't seen hardly anything except for that train a while ago and this one. All right, thank you.